Good morning, my dear students. Good morning, grade 4. Today we are going to complete Unit 1, Lesson 2. In Unit 1, Lesson 2, Part 1, last session, it was about Jeremiah and how does he spend his day in school. Today we are going to talk more about the present simple and how to describe things you do in your daily life. First, the present simple, we have three forms. You can say affirmative, negative, interrogative, or question form. We will take one by one and we will explain every single column. Make sure you're having a copybook with you to write down the notes that we are explaining. And if you have questions, please write us in the comments below this video. Affirmative, look at this. We will take the verb walk, for example. I walk to school, for example. You walk to school. But she, add s, walks to school. She walks to school. He walks to school. It walks to school. The cat, for example. We walk. You walk. They walk. So very simple one. That's why we call it present simple, because it's very simple. With he, she, and it, you just add the s. You just add the s. Remember, in the negative, I walk, I don't walk. So in the negative, you need to use two negative tools. Don't or doesn't. And you figure out the verbs with s, use doesn't with. For example, I woke, I don't woke. You woke, you don't woke. He walks, he doesn't woke. She walks, she doesn't woke. It woke, it doesn't woke. Again, we woke, we don't woke. You woke, you don't woke. They woke, they don't woke. Well, in the question you need to use do and does as well. Start with do or does, that's the yes no question. Start with yes, with do or does, start with that, then the subject, then the verb in the main form, or in the base form, or infinitive, and the question word, or the question mark. So do I walk, change the tone of your voice. Look at this. I don't read do I walk, no. Do I woke? Do you woke? Does he woke? Does she woke? Does it woke? Do we woke? Do they woke? And do they woke? So it's about do and does. Well, the answer of do I woke, the answer is yes I do, no I don't. Yes she does, no she doesn't, and so on. The third person, as I told you, we use the s with all verbs. But remember, you can also add es. You can also add es with he, she, and it, with some verbs that they have the endings with x, ch, sh, x, and o. So whenever you have these verbs and you want to put them with he, she, and it, add es. Also, the verbs that they have the ending e, just add s. And the verbs, or the verbs that they have the y sound, or the letter y at the end of this verb, you just change the y to be ies, but before the y must be consonant. For example, when you say play, will you change the y to be ies? No way. Why? Because before the y is vowel, and vowel we don't change the y. With verbs ending in consonant plus y, you change the y to ies. But with verbs ending with vowel like play, no, you just add the s. When exactly do we use the present simple? We use the present simple about habits. things we do every day. I wake up at 6 o'clock. I usually wake up at 6 o'clock. Also, he visits his friends every Sunday. This is a habit. This is a habit. When you visit someone every day, it becomes a habit. So when you speak about habit, you need to use in the present simple. For general truth, when you say a fact, for example, water boils when you heat it. Of course, water boils when you heat it. Sun rises at 6 o'clock. The sun rises in the east also is a fact. For permanent situation, for example, when you say that you live, for example, in a flat, it's permanent. It's permanent. You will not change from day to another to something else. No, this is general truth. When you live in a place, this is a fact. Describing this place, for example, he lives in Athens, so his place is in Athens, within the city. Okay, now we've got something like the frequency adverb or adverb of frequency. Once you see these adverbs, it means that the sentence is in the present simple. And they expresses how often does the action repeat itself. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. They are placed before the main verb. So this is always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. You place them before the verb. So I usually go to school at 7 o'clock. You can't say I go usually to school at 7 o'clock. Why? Because the adverb must be before the verb. Also, expressions every day, every week, every night, every Monday, every Sundays, at the weekend, in the morning, afternoon, in winter, once a day. All of these are adverb of frequency. Okay, another thing to do, I need you to do, to change these verbs, all of these verbs, but with he, she in it. The first verb, play, do you remember how to do it? Will you change the Y or would you add the S? Excellent. You just add the S. Play. He plays, she plays, it plays. Whoosh. Remember, would you add S-E-S or I-E-S and Y? Excellent. E-S, because the ending of this verb is S-H. So whenever you have S-H-C-H-X-O, add E-S to the verb. Drive. Excellent. Drives. Fly. Look at this. Play and fly. Play the Y before the Y-A vowel, so you don't change it. Fly before the Y consonant, change it. Help. Helps. Watch. Watches because CH. Like. Likes. Cry. Cries. Go. Goes. ES because O-X-C-H-S-H. Teach. Teaches. Or touches. Teach. Teaches. Touch. Touches as well. Carry. Carries. The Y becomes I-E-S. Start. Starts. Only S. Kiss. Kisses. Tidy. Tidies. Enjoy. Enjoys. Max. Maxes. That was our lesson for today. It was about the present simple, the adverb of frequency, how to use them. We started with the forms of the present simple, which were the affirmative sentence, the question sentence, and the negative sentence. We knew the differences between do and does, when to use them. We knew the negative form. And we knew how to use the adverb of frequency. And I said that they come before the verb. Also, if you would like to make a question about this adverb of frequency, you can say how often. I usually go to school at 7 o'clock. how often do I go to school? I often go to school at 7 o'clock. So how often do I go to school at 7 o'clock? Could be. So when you ask about the repetition of the action using the adverb of frequency, you need to use how often. She usually goes to the club in the evening, for example. Usually, make a question. How often does she go to the club? She goes to the club. She usually goes to the club in the evening. So when you ask about the repetition of some action, it must be in the present simple and it must be with how often. Thank you very much and see you next session of the Galwash. Goodbye, everybody.